Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Everything to discuss Manchester United Football Club. Today we're going to definitely talk about the roller coaster of a match yesterday against Lyon, look into potential transfers, and look into the preview for the game against Wolves on Sunday. Again, if you're new, don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and as well as TikTok. And then you can also subscribe through Spotify and Apple podcasts as well. But let's just, look at the elephant in the room. Let's just discuss it. Okay, let's just look at it here. Last night's game, or afternoon game, depending on where you were in the world, some early morning, just looking at it and realizing, what the hell did I just watch? Again, like, to start from the beginning, United got off hot. Ugarte's goal, Dalot's goal, great. Could add opportunities as well. I will break down other stuff later on. But let's take a moment here and just think about this for a second. You would think when you went up 2-0, great, we're on a cruise, we're in control, let's finish out the game. That didn't work out well in the second half. Some of the goals that we let in were definitely defensive errors, positions. Definitely, I think we had some tired legs. I think changes had to be done a little bit earlier, but Dorgu, he was kind of responsible for the goals, especially on the second one, that specific second one there, because again, when they were doing those passes, a lot of the plays that they developed came off of that right side, and you would see that Dorgu was the left wing back. So they made those crosses, and when the left winger made those crosses across, they had those opportunities to score. So definitely some struggling there. Listen, going down 4-2, I said to some friends then in a group chat that I'm not fond of this team at the moment. At the time, I was angered, especially when you're down, or especially when Lyon was down to 10 men. Like, you have a man advantage and you go down by 2. The penalty was a penalty in the end. Like, it was there. Nothing you can help with that. But again, it was just like you're down 4-2 and everything is just like, well, you know what? like what's going to happen? To be fair, like, even I'm just like, I'm not fond of this club. I'm sick of them right now. But it's just like, what can they do next? And part of me was just like, get a goal, build off of that goal, force penalties. And that's what you're looking at here. Everyone that was still watching that game. And there's a video that I reposted on my social media of the fans that left the game because they're done. And I didn't turn off anything. I just kept watching. And because you always got to watch to the end. I've gone to sporting events where you see them, like live sporting events, where you see the fans leaving and you just see a miraculous comeback. And that was one of the moments where you're just sitting there and you're like, I shouldn't have left. Because again, you see the Casemiro penalty, Bruno scoring, the build-up play of, Bruno to Casemiro to Mainu and Mainu finishing. The build-up from the back, from Luke Shaw to the Harry Amas to Casemiro making the kick, and Harry Maguire scoring the winner with the header in extras. Like, that build up, that final 15 minutes of that match was incredible. It was like you're sitting there, like there's an audio that I was debating about playing of, like, Rio Ferdinand says, I believe in miracles. He said that after Manu tied it up. Again, it was it was miraculous. It was epic to see. You can't really describe it. But I did rewatch it again, and we'll continue to rewatch those final 15 minutes. But yeah, like that it was just a remarkable turn of events in that final 15 minutes. You can't just move away from that. So, listen, overall, I'm happy that we got the win. I'm happy that we're off to the semis. We're facing Atletico. Atletico, who plays in Bilbao, which is where the Europa finals are. Listen, we're facing another challenge. Atletico is a very good club, so we'll be facing that battle there in the semis. Benefit is we're back to Old Trafford for the second leg, so that's kind of key. So I'm happy with that. But it's the way the game went yesterday. It's not a Manchester United game, especially the last year when you look at basically almost around this time. Like we're coming up on, it was around this time of the FA Cup semifinals, where you had that Coventry game. It's almost a year to the date, or you're pretty close to the year to the date of that Coventry game, where we go up 3-0, and then they forced the 3-3 draw, and then we go to extras, and then that toenail of a length, offside, and we could have lost in penalty, and it was over because they scored, but it was an offside. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for VAR for those reasons, but again, could have been like Man United when we wouldn't be in Europa, we wouldn't be in this spot. It's the way it is. But it's crazy how it's basically a year almost from Coventry. Same type of thing. We go up 2-0. We give away 2 stupid goals. It's, errors by the defense. Onana did some great saves, by the way. Like, he played remarkable overall. But yeah, but again, there were some stupid goals that were just given. So, but listen, it's done. we're on our way to the semis. We're in this moment here. I'm just taking a look at the standings. My apologies for saying Atletico. It's Athletic. Brain fart on me. Yes, I had. Yeah, sorry, Athletic. I do apologize for saying Atletico. But yeah, because again, so first matchup is there in Bilbao, which is where the Europa finals will be, and then we're back to Manchester for the second leg. So listen, Athletic is a good club. Like, they finished second in the standings. We are going to be in a battle, because again, they're going to want to like they're the host team. Like, you don't want that club there to win. Like, you have the hometown team in the finals against potentially Lazio or Tottenham. So we could, because I'm pretty sure they would rather have that than an all English final, which is what could potentially be. But I'll focus that when we get closer to the game. Again, apologies for saying Atletico instead of saying Athletic. My apologies for the error. But going back to the game, the first half we did things extremely well. And in the second half here, and I'm going to tear apart a few players, probably a couple. I have 2 specifically on my mind right now that I'm not pleased with. But let's just look overall. Again, with my matchup starting, we had, let me just go back to what I had for my lineup. So we had Onana, Maguire, Euro, Maz starting. Those were my starting back 3. I had Dalot, Casemiro, Mainu, and Dorgu. Instead of Mainu starting, Ugarte was in. Bruno, Garnacho, and Højlund were your attack. And I had Eriksen, Bruno, and Garnacho just because I was treating it like a false nine. And then Højlund, Ugarte, Mount, Shaw, Amas coming in. Now, listen, Eriksen, Mainu did come in. Harry Amas, Shaw did come in just because of Mazraoui left at half. I guess there was a family emergency. Mount did come in as well. So, like, technically, the subs that were having brought in were this kind of the people that I had already starting. Listen, hands down to those subs, hands down to Casemiro, Bruno, Lenny Yoro, Harry Maguire doing what they did. Casemiro playing 120 minutes. Like, he'll definitely be taking a rest on Sunday. We won't see him against Wolves. Lenny Euro, who has been incredible, and Maguire in an interview talking about how Lenny has been the best player from the between the two legs. He's been incredible. Delot played extremely well. Mazraoui was playing well up until the change. Obviously, he had to leave. He was playing well the game before. Listen, Matthias de Ligt will be back for the semis. So we're going to have a strong rotation, even with Aiden Heaven as well. So you're going to have a strong rotation there for a back three when we get to the semis against Athletic. But again, Maz, Maguire, those three are incredible in the back. Delot was making good crosses. Casemiro was great as well. There's still some times where we struggled in the midfield. Definitely left wide spaces right there. Bruno, he's our captain. He had an excellent game as well, especially when you're getting your fight. The two players I want to start with, Dorgu, who played well defensive, I shouldn't say well defensively. We had some struggles with him defending, especially on those backsides, especially in that second half with the goals. Those goals all started out on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side where he was covering. So we had those struggles. This game should not have gone to where we were. Let's just leave it there. We should not have got there. Garnacho is a talented player, but I am sick of his immaturity. His hero attitude needs to stop. Let's be fair here. Rasmus Højlund played well. When he got the ball, he was able to transition, make the quick passes, and move up with it. Everything that I mentioned in previous games of the type of striker that we need, Rasmus showed that and did it very well. He was excellent. He was wanting the ball. We had so many breaks where Garnacho's speed was a weapon, and he had it. He had it at the point where it was him and the goalie. You had Rasmus coming up. You can make the long pass and have him finish. I understand that you want to be a hero. I understand that, you're the only one who hasn't had the glory. You have Ugarte and Delot sharing in the 2 goals. But right now wasn't the time. If he had done the right passes and, played smart with the ball, we're not talking about what we talked about yesterday. This might have been a different podcast that we're talking about. We're talking about a very incredible win, but we're probably talking about an easy win. And no offense to Lyon. Lyon played great. It was their game to lose. And realistically, they took control, especially being a man down, going up 2 goals. They were there. And a series of unfortunate events happened. And, you give up the penalty. Bruno scores. The 1-2 pass from Bruno to Casemiro to Mainu to score. The header from Maguire in extras. It was there. But realistically, we should not have gotten to that point. It was just like Coventry last year. We never should have gotten to that point. But here we are. Garnacho, again, maturity. Dorgu as well had opportunities to make the right passes. And I know the last couple of games, there has been debates about this. It's just the Rasmus service and he's not in the right position. He has been there and waiting for service. You saw him getting frustrated. In every right. He has every right to be frustrated. He is. So it is a bother, to say the least. But we have to. He has to develop. Again, he's only 20. Dorgu is only 20. So you're going to have those bumpy roads with both of them. But even when Garnacho has the ball, he's never playing it to anyone around him. He won't make the pass to Dorgu when he starts his run. He'll try to cut inside and take the shot. I get that he wants to score. I get that he's trying to be that guy. But either his teammates are telling him to stop and he's just not willing to listen, and the coach is going to tell him to stop and he's not willing to listen. But it's just a matter of, listen, you have to grow. And if he doesn't score, and if we lose, we're going back to what Garnacho was doing, to say the least. Like, yeah. And I know I was hearing some things, and like, I think the subs were right. I think subbing off Hoyland too early might have been a little mistake. I think it should have been Garnacho, because again, his speed is great, but his ball IQ is not the greatest. He has to play it smart and read. And part of it is like maybe I'm sorry, I don't want to speculate that. I'm just not going to ignore that fact. It was just about potentially leaving. But it's just a matter of him growing up and making the pass. You saw the frustrations. Even Bruno had the frustrations with some of the passes. He's not looking sometimes. Sometimes he tries to make the no-look pass, but it just wasn't working out for him. Again, he had the shots, but I think he was just like, when you're up 2-0, he's just got that mentality of, let's just try and add on more. Let's just try and be more of a hero. I think he was just trying to get his glory as well, which again, it causes a problem. So, but overall, I was happy with overall, I was happy. We got the result. It was a wild final 15 minutes. We'll leave it there. But yeah, my 3 players of the match. And I'll give you my honorable mentions. Bruno, Mainu, Hoyland were incredible. You can throw Onana in there as well, just because of some of the saves that he made. But it was, like the final group, like that final squad there in the end was great. Just the determination in coming back and winning. It wasn't over. They played the full 120 minutes, but again, for 20 minutes, I'll say 25 minutes, it was definitely going down like the stock market. But and then you see the first half of extras as well. So yeah, for the 35-40 minutes of that game, it was all Lyon, and rightfully so. So yeah, Bruno, Mainu, Hoyland as my honorary mentions of the players of the match, but my 3 that I'm giving: Casemiro, Maguire, and Euro. They were like, they deserve the credit for yesterday, especially in extras. Maguire has played well. He is, and again, if you want to talk about someone who's been a class act, especially with the way certain things have been going on at the start of his career, even in Ten Hag's first season. But this year, how reliable and how respectable he has been, especially being benched, coming back, like doing this. This is his 3rd, 4th goal, from whether tying it or winning it. Listen, he tied Porto, Leicester, Ipswich. He tied, or he got the winner header against Ipswich, the header against Leicester in the FA Cup, and then what he did yesterday against Lyon. Listen, he is talented, but we've seen the faults, and again, listen, we're still going to remember the faults, but we're going to remember what also he has done as well. So let's remember that too. So, and then Casemiro, the setups, the assists, getting the penalty, was great. And Lenny Euro, like just the way he's playing defensively, like he's 19. The maturity that we saw it against, we saw him standing up for Hamas against Newcastle, the trying to the block that he made while diving for his head. Like it was incredible for what Lenny Euro has done. And I'm really sad that we never got to see Lenny Euro under Ten Hag. That's the one thing that's kind of going to get away if you look at it, but just incredible what Lenny Euro has done and lived up to. And listen, when we get to that semis, you're going to have an incredible back three and especially rotation as well when you include Heaven as well. Like your starting up is probably going to still be Maz, Maguire, and Lenny Euro as your back three. And then you can bring in Heaven, De Ligt as well, and Luke Shaw as your rotation. So you have 3 guys that can be in there as well. Not only that, you can move Maz up into the wing position and you can have De Ligt, Euro, Maguire as your back 3. Like you're seeing opportunities there and you can make shift and you're having players play in multiple positions, which is great. That's what's key. So, and the way Euro was moving the ball yesterday, like one of those 3 could have been the man of the match. Again, one of those 3 could have been. So I was quite happy with the way everything went. I'm happy with that back 3, but I'm happy with those 3 players as well. You're seeing the growth, you're seeing the philosophy there, and again, the character of that team. Again, Maguire, Casemiro, Euro, like the composure, like Bruno playing very well. Mainu, who has scored incredible goals when it's come to in important moments. So, like, again, those 6 were my 6 to stand out. Ugarte was good as well. He was. Dalot, you can mention Onana's shot stopping, but you know what? Even Harry Hamas coming on in a big game, you have to give him credit for a kid who just turned 18. Like at one point, you had your one like you had Lenny Euro and Harry Hamas, who are both under the age of 20, in a game that is huge that you need a big matchup. And listen, he played very well, Harry, and it's again having those 2 and those youth. It was incredible to see. And it's a big moment for Harry Hamas too, just to see how everything played out right in front of him, especially being on that pitch too. So like, hands off to the youth, as well. Like it's incredible. Like, but listen, we're getting healthy kind of at the right time, and again, the semis will be big too. And again, the one thing that's key for the semis is, and could potentially be, because the semis are in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, I believe. And we're 2 weeks away, and 2 weeks, May 1st and May 7th. May 1st or May 7th are the are the semis against Athletic. Sorry, I'm just getting everything here. I just want to double check everything about Ahmad. So I'm just taking a look here. I'm just taking a look at the injury updates as well, because again, Ahmad could return, especially with Matthias de Ligt. Because again, having Ahmad back, it could be huge. I know there's potentially being the second leg. I know I'm looking at, Sports Mall, where they're aiming for him to be back potentially May 3rd. Heaven could be back this week. Matthias de Ligt is one more away. So it's kind of big to have them back. So, but again, it's great. It really is. It's great to hear them coming back. So I'm ecstatic to have those players back. So I know I'm sounding like a little off. I'm just reading up the injuries and everything here. So we're getting to having those 3 come back. If we can get them back, that is very important. And again, it's It's, yeah. But having Ahmad back for the semis, if it's the second leg of the semis, which is, it helps. It does. This could be a chance that he could be back earlier. He has returned. He's training on grass. I'm sure he'll be at the training sessions. We'll probably see him potentially. You might see him come off the bench against. You might see him come off the bench against the first leg potentially. If that's happening, having the lit back for the semis is key. So if we can get those two back, if we can get Aiden Heaven back, I know I've repeated myself a few times about those three, but it would be key. It would help in terms of depth and the importance of it, like I mentioned, and it gives us more of an attack. It does. You can be more creative in that attack, and you can do, like your attack would be key. You can give a rest to Dorgu if Ahmad's fully 100% to go. It's the truth. So your attack could be, and this is what I think the attack could be, or even this is what it could be. You have Bruno in the pivot with Ugarte. You have Ahmad at the 10 with Garnacho. And you have Hoyland starting. And you have Dorgu and Delo in their usual spots. But even leading up to that, if you're easing Ahmad in, you can have Maz go over to the right or Delo to the right or Delo to the left and Ahmad on the right. Your attack could be with those guys. Listen, Xerxes, on the other hand, I know Xerxes out for the year, which it sucks. Like that hamstring, it looked bad. It really did. Because right now they're saying preseason, and it sucks. And it was announced this week that he'll miss the remainder of the season, and it's tough. It's tough when you lose a player like that, and I'm saddened by it. It really is, and it's tough. It really is. It's right now it's it is tough. It's tough not having him there because again that run that he did, the way he placed the foot, and again like having him here today or having him there yesterday would have been a key. It does suck. It really does. But yeah, I have a lot more stuff to talk about. Again, the semis were we're playing Athletic. We'll be traveling to Bilbao for the first leg on May the 1st, I believe it is, or either April. What is it? I had just had it up here on my phone. So let me just double check it one more time. As much as you have so much media, May 1st and then May 8th. Those are the two legs on 2 Thursdays. So it's but I'll spend more as we get there as well. Again, Athletic is a good club. They are the home team that's going to be hosting the final, so they have a lot of pressure to face on them as well. And Manchester United as well. Forget the financials. Forget it. This is right now about winning it. And right now, I'm more focused on the semis. I just want to get through the first leg, see the second leg. The benefit is it's at Old Trafford. That is the key. So as we get closer and closer, because again, we're 2 weeks away, roughly. About a week from next Thursday will be May 1st, and then that's when we're going through it. So that is the key. But yes, as we get closer to it, I will discuss that as well. I won't spend much time on transfers because we can do that the next episode as well. Because again, it's going to be the same type of transfers that we're talking about here. Semeneo is now in the news that we're likely to favorite him. Again, more news that Liam Delap is there. There's talks about Osman being there, or Osman, being signed as well. So that's what we're looking at here. Listen, we have a lot of pieces to fill in. Defenders, mid, attack. We have a lot of pieces there that need to be that we have to fill in. But right now, we can just keep speculating on what we're hoping for. You see my one episode, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, where I mentioned Jonathan David. Yeah, I believe the title is United Should Sign Jonathan David. Like, looking at the free transfers, again, we want someone experienced, and then someone like, again, David, Delap, Osimhen, um, as well as, what else is there? You have Cheeto Obi, who's still going to be there. Hoyland, we don't know what's going to happen with him. Like, as much as we want this, there's so much speculation. And I think health-wise, like, we need depth at the 10s. We need, wing backs. We need center backs. We need a lot of stuff. So, again, I mentioned, look at the free transfers. Look, I know it all depends on the money as well. And I know there's talks about spending money on young players, but maybe get those players in that have experience, like the 25, 26-year-olds. Semeneo would be great. Kuna would be great, but I know there's rumors about his attitude, and when you're trying to build a locker room, that's there as well. There's talks of Rashford potentially coming back. I love how I just said I'm not going to spend much time on this, but here I am. Let's just ignore. I'll just ignore myself. I usually do. You have Rashford who wants to come back and hash it out, unless he's found a new lease on life and realize what he needs to do and realize that he was an issue. So we'll see that there. But it's so hard to predict. And I'm still new to this, trying to predict everything that I want. I won't know until we get there closer. And I know the window opens up like basically right after the Champions League is done. Like, we have a temporary window because we have the Club World Cup, which is June-ish, plus the Four Nations. So, but again, it's about, seeing this, like, hoping for what you want and hoping that there's fun. So right now, I know there's a lot riding on the semis. I know there's a lot riding on winning that Europa. Listen, I think right now is just getting everyone healthy and ready to go. So just take your time and just proceed with caution. That's how I'm just going to leave it as. Proceed with caution over the next, get everyone healthy. That's what I'm leaning towards as well. But yeah, trying to predict free transfers or transfers in general, who you want, the money available. Like, there's talks about goalie replacements. Onana was talks about him going. There's talks about him negotiating his salary. There's talks of him wanting to stay. So it's like, again, it's like the slopes. It's like, how do I describe it? It's like a marathon runner running through the hills. You're going to go up and you're going to go down and back up again and down again. It's like that. And that's basically what it's been. And that's what happens with Manchester. And there's just talks where it's just Manchester or the UK talking about the news, where when you go to the leagues that they're in, like the countries that the leagues are in, there's no reports of any contact or anything. It's just speculation. That's all it is. You're talking speculation here. You're talking speculation on every fan channel. Some have reliable sources, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not. It's just all speculation. Right now, it's just a wish list of everything that's going on. It is. It's just a wish list of what Manchester United want and what I want, what you want, and what every fan channel and what the pundits want. That's what it is. It is. So as we get closer, you know what? I'll be ecstatic when we see them on the press table at Old Trafford, in that room where they do the press conferences and everything. They're sitting in that room, and you have them signing the contract saying, "Welcome to Manchester United." That's when I'll take it seriously. Realistically, that's all you can do. I can sit there and talk, well, they're going to be doing this. Oh, there's talks about this, and negotiation and the price. Listen, and I don't care about that until I hear, congratulations, this person is signed as a devil. Their medical is done. They're signing the contract. They negotiated on wedges. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. That's how I'm leaving it as. And I think that's how it should be. So, yeah, that's my little thing on the transfer. Right now, what I'm thinking, I'm still going to talk speculations. It is. Listen, it's it's been a wild 24 hours, to say the least. And I'm probably going to rewatch that 15 minutes again. Why? Because it's fun. It's ecstatic. It's thrilling. It's just, again, I described it as a roller coaster. That's what the game was yesterday. It is. I know my tone of voice isn't showing it because I don't want to be um, if I jumped on it like everyone else did yesterday, yes, I probably wouldn't have a voice to finish off the episode, but I kind of need my voice. But yeah, that's the great thing about it. That's what it is. Listen, we still have a game going on. As much as like we can stop and stare and talk about how everything is just looking grandy, or is it what? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Grand. There we go. That's what I'm looking at here. Yeah, because again, we still have a game to discuss for Sunday. We're playing Wolves. That's where we're at. That's right now what we're doing. Also, before I forget, because as again I'm mentioning it, and I know I've sucked at this too. Congratulations to the Manchester United Women's Club going on to the FA Cup finals again. For real. They are the current champions. I remember them winning because I was visiting Old Trafford. I was at Old Trafford when we lost to Arsenal 1-0. I remember being in the area by the concessions and everything with hundreds of fans. Well, I wouldn't say hundreds of fans. I think there was about 100 of us there in the concourse, all staring at a 32-inch TV, probably bigger. Let's say 40-inch. We'll say 40 inches. And we're sitting there and we're just watching the women's club, the women's squad just winning it, just dominating. It was incredible. It really was. And I'm happy that they're back. They're playing the same day that we're playing Chelsea. So you have an all-day Chelsea event on May 18th. We're ecstatic about it. I'm ecstatic about it. Hopefully for a repeat back-to-back. That'll be thrilling. So again, my apologies for not doing it earlier this week, in my last episode, but this week, today, I'm definitely going to recognize, yes, my mistake and be like, congrats to the women on winning the semis and going to the finals. And I hope for a repeat as well. So, yes, this is Manchester United. Yes, and my fault. My apologies for not including the women's success of what they've done as well, because they've been playing very well this year. From what I've been seeing, they've been playing very well. So hopefully they continue on and it carries over and they come home with another FA Cup back to back. That'd be incredible. Okay, so yes, what I need to discuss. We have Manchester United playing Wolves on Sunday. Again, early morning, 9 a.m. for us here in Canada. So we have that going on. It's hard to say what's going to happen here as I pull up the table of the league at the moment. Wolves are 3 points back of us, to say the least. It's, yeah. Oh my God, Newcastle's up in third. Sorry, just looking at the table, and I mentioned the importance of Newcastle last game and what they needed to do. But yes, so we're sitting in 14th at this time. 5 points back at Crystal, technically tied with Everton, but they have the tie break. 5 points back at Brentford, still 10 points back of Brighton, Fulham, and Bournemouth. We still have Bournemouth, Brentford, and West Ham still to play. Southampton's getting dropped. Leicester's getting dropped. We're still wondering if Ipswich has two very important games, two big games, sorry, Newcastle being one of them. So we'll see how that develops. But yes, let's focus on this. Us and Wolves, 3 points between each other. So, and we play West Ham too, but let's focus on the Wolves. Listen, it hasn't been a good season. Wolves, when we last played them, just getting back to what I was looking at here. Because we last played Wolves, what was it? In the new year, I believe. Yes, nope, that's Wolves. Where were we? When did we last play Wolves? And I know we lost big because it wasn't a good match. It was a frustrating one. Kuna had that one corner. I remember that. Where was that Wolves game? Wolves, yes, 2-0. That was not a good game. Let me double check that lineup. Let me just take a look here. Right now, yes, Bruno got the 2 yellows and a red, so he was suspended. And then let's just take a look here at the stats or timeline. Because again, I remember Kuna scored that incredible goal breakaway. Yeah, because Kuna had that free kick. Because again, it was just like the set plays against Arsenal. Because we had just played, I think we had just played Arsenal days before that. Let's just take a look here. Yeah, because again, so let's just go back. Oh, I'm a little ahead of myself. Where was I? Yes. Wolves, December 26th. It was the Boxing Day match. Because we lost to Wolves. And then Arsenal. So we had another. Because I remember that corner kick when we had that game. A lot of people were frustrated because again, we allowed in another corner kick and our defense wasn't really challenging corners and it was a struggle. But let me just get to Manchester United because I want to take a look at that game again. Manchester didn't score any goals that game. As you know, we lost 2-0. So go back up. Wolves. Just letting everything load because technology likes to take its time. Yes, Kuna with a goal. And then, Kuna with Huang, which was just a final breakaway, and Onana couldn't get the stop. But yes, hopefully it's better this time as well. The question is now going into this match, what is the lineup going to be? That is basically what we're looking at here. We're going to have players missing it because of rest, because again, there's no game in between, but you want to give players time to heal in a sense, because again, we play Sunday at 9. We're playing Bournemouth the week after, and then you have the first leg on the 1st, and then you're playing Brentford on that Saturday. So when you play a game like this with length, you're going to have players probably sit out. If I'm Ruben, you're probably having Harry Maguire out. Actually, no, Harry will probably play a couple minutes just because now we have a week off. Maz could be back. Lenny Euro. But if I'm starting anything, and take it as you will, you're probably going to have Højlund start. For the attack, you're probably going to have Garnacho start. And then I would say go with Mount because I think it's time for him to start just to see what we can do. Your wings, let's go for Amas to start. Let's go with Bruno in the pivot, Ugarte to start, and Delo. Your back 3. You know what? Go with Shaw. You're going to have Maguire come in. And then let's just go with Euro as at there. I think that's what it would be for the back 3. Just because you're going to want to see some rotation. It's hard to say with that and Maguire, Maz. You might even see, because again, you might even see, I would say, let's say, depending on Mazraoui, let's just go with Maz for right now to start. Just because we don't, like he could have his full situation settled by then. Let me just check one more thing. I'm going to look it up here, just because we kind of want to know if everything worked out okay. Yeah, so family issue. Yeah, even Lindelof had to leave with personal problems. So it looks like there are some issues going on. So that's concerning there. So depending on what may have happened, let me just see. So Mazraoui, Lindelof. So that sucks, losing two players to those personal reasons. Second half, yeah. So, but both players were fine. Yeah. So we'll see. Because yeah, you can even mention Lindelof. I didn't even realize Lindelof had left too. So that could be interesting. You might see Aiden Heaven if he's ready to go. Casemiro won't be playing. You have to give Shaw a chance. Amos, I think, will start. Dorgu will come on because again, as much as you want to give rest, you want to give Delo some time. I think right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to retract. I'm going to say, you know what? You might even say, actually, you know what? I'm going to go with Cheeto Obi. No, I'm leaving. No, I'm going to start with Hoyland and then go with Cheeto Obi coming in. Yeah, so again, Hoyland, Garnacho, Mount, Amas, Bruno, Ugarte, Delo, Shaw, Maguire, and Euro in net. I think by Ender. It's nothing against. It's not that I don't trust Onana. I think you're going to give Onana a rest too because he had a little bit of a knock, a little bit of a pain. You saw Maguire stretching him out. But look for the youth to switch in the second half, possibly. But that's what I'm going to start with. Bayender, Shaw, Maguire, Euro, Amas, Bruno, Ugarte, Delo, Garnacho, Mount, Hoyland to start on against Wolves. Again, I'm just benching Onana just because we saw the stretch playing along like 120 minutes. I know he's the keeper, but again, you saw him sprinting. You saw a little bit of a knock, a pull, just to be concerned. Give him some rest. If he's good to go, he's good to go. Shaw, I think, start just because, again, if you don't have Maz or Lindelof, you have to put him in. You can also put Harry Amas in to start, have Dorgu go up where Amas is, but I think we might see that there. Especially, you kind of want to make sure that your defense is fine just because Shaw is not fully 100%. I think Amos deserves to start again. He started against Newcastle, so I think that's what it's looking at here. Again, it's a battle position, and Kuna is going to try and give an audition because he even mentioned that he wants to join United. So you're going to see a Kuna. Might see a Kuna show on Sunday. I'm not joking. I'm not going to say he's going to go off and score, but you can see some talent because he's going to try and push for himself to get signed by United. So we'll see how that goes again. But yes, I'm expecting rotation on Sunday. Yes, I'm saying Onana, not because of skill wise. I think just rest. I think Dorgu won't start. I think Shaw will get the start. I think the only reason why Maguire and Euro are going to be there because, again, I don't know what's going on with Mazraoui. I don't know what's going on with Lindelof, if they're going to be back Sunday. And you don't want to be putting like youngsters in there too. And you don't know the status of Aiden Heaven or if the lid is good to go. So we'll wait and see. And then you can bring on Cheeto Obi there. You can bring on Erickson. You can bring on Fletcher, I believe. That could be, or no, what is it? Oh my God, it's not Fletcher. I looked him up too. Morehouse. There we go. I believe that's his name, Morehouse, the midfielder. Because I was looking at it last week. You can bring him in as well. So it all depends on how the game is going. Remember, as much as we have just played that 120 minutes, we still have a week off as well in between. So you'll see some rotation, but also note that you have that week there as well. So Hoyland will probably start, but you'll see Cheeto Obi come in later. Dorgu will probably come in later, as well as you'll see Amos start. So I think that's what's there, because you had Ugarte come off, so you can't have Casemiro start again. You had Delo, like Dorgu may come on. You may see Amos play the full 90. The reason why I say Dorgu comes on is because Delo might need some rest as well. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, but that's my lineup. That's what I'm predicting for that game. So it was, yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's an early morning game. Again, rotation is going to be key. I think those are the three I'm going with. Again, I'm not saying anything towards Onana. He played great. But I think Bayender starts just in terms of rotation. That's what it is. Give him a little rest. Let him be there, and then we'll see how it goes later on. But he should be back. But you want Onana to be fully good to go for the semis. You also want to keep rotation there too, for Bayender as well. Get his reps in. I know he had a tough game against Newcastle last week, but I think we'll see how it goes. That's how I'll leave it as there. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's what I'm going to discuss for today's episode. I'll be back. The reason why I'm just doing the review today is just because it is Easter weekend. I won't be able to record the next 2 days. So that's also key as well. So yes, ecstatic with the win. Not the way I wanted it, but it is. It's a roller coaster. Transfers, again, it's always hard to predict transfers. Again, I won't really be relieved about transfer window until I see that pen and paper and them sitting at that press table in Manchester at Old Trafford saying, "Welcome to the club." Starting lineup for Sunday against Wolves. Bayender in net, Shaw, Maguire, Euro in the back three, Amos, Bruno, Ugarte, Delo, Garnacho, Mount, Hoyland as you're starting. And then we'll see how it goes, how the rest of the game goes as well. You might see some additional players coming in too. You might even have Ericsson start over Garnacho, have Garnacho Mount, Ericsson and Mount as well. But I think Hoyland and Garnacho did come off during those minutes. So you'll definitely have them start on Sunday. And again, as much as, yes, rotation is going to be there, we do have a big window of rest and relaxation for Bournemouth, which is the following Sunday too. So overall, ecstatic with the win. A lot of question marks to start with for Sunday. Again, Athletic is our semis, May 1st and May 8th, with the games back at Old Trafford. So, yeah. And then again, if you want to know, again, my players of the match, Casemiro, Maguire, Euro, all three were brilliant yesterday as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the podcast. It was a great, again, I'm going back into what I'm thinking about the match. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoyed last night's match, the roller coaster of what it was as well. So again, have yourself a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night, depending on where you are in the world, or if it's an early Saturday morning, good morning. But again, thank you for listening to the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, follow on either on Spotify or Apple, YouTube, and then Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well for social media. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.